This is your Black Auntie, Kiana Ellison, and this is a Blackity Black recap. Last episode on Call Me Blackity Black, we ran into a multitude of technical difficulties, which postponed the release of 2 Black. In place, we are going to do a new episode where we are talking about the differences between good hair and bad hair within the Black community. So here are some important keywords that we'll be talking about in the podcast. One that will be reoccurring is 4C. What is 4C hair? 4C hair is the kinkiest texture of hair known to man. It's beautiful, typically thick, and super kinky in texture. If you just think of a traditional afro, that's typically 4C hair. Just think of like super curly, super coily, nice, fluffy hair. Good and bad hair. One hair is good, so it's like looser, and bad hair is typically like 4C, 4B hair, so super kinky hair. And those are the 2 key terms that will be circulating, so if you have any questions, that will be on our live too. So let's get into this podcast. Hair is an important part of our culture as Black people. It's how we identify ourselves and how we express ourselves. And because of the history with our hair, we've gotten a lot of trash, we've been called ghetto, we've been made fun of, we've been mocked. Our hair is something precious to us. Even before slave times, when we were still on the continent of Africa, just kicking it and rocking it, our hair was a way that we expressed ourselves. Self-expression is a very important part of culture. Not just within Black people, but many cultures express themselves through their hair. But in America, Black people have not had the best time when it comes to our kinky coils. From nice luscious curls, it hasn't been the best time. So today I have my sister here, Beverly Ellison, to talk about the discrepancies between good hair and bad hair within the African American community. So Beverly, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Beverly Ellison. As you all know, I am Kiana's sister, older sister.
So what do you do? What do you like to do? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What I do for a living, I'm a freelance model. So I post majority of my pictures on Instagram and Facebook and everything. And I'm also a poet. I'm writing a book at the current moment, and I'm starting to upload more of my poetry to the world. I'm also a student at Loyola. I'm a psychology major going into natural herbal psychology and using herbal medicine with that.
So the reason I want to have my sister here is because we have been raised in the same environment of happy is nappy, love your curls, love the skin you're in, self-love is important. That's been the anthem our mom put into us since we were children. But unfortunately, with every child who becomes an adult, you realize that the anthem that your parents put in you may not be the way the world views you or how the world wants to nurture you. And the self-love that you may have had when you were 4 or 5 or 13 or 14 may be crumbled and crushed by the time you're 23 and 24. And with hair, and hair being such an important thing within our community, there has been a divide between good and bad hair. And once the anthem was happy is nappy to looser is better and straight is great. And you wonder to yourself if the anthem that your mom told you when you were younger to uplift you was actually a lie, because the Black people within your community kind of tell you that you don't have good hair. Your hair is kind of bad. And what makes your hair bad? So, Beverly, do you have any experiences with being told your hair wasn't good enough or bad?
Yeah, I have a plethora of experiences where I've gotten a lot of negative comments on my hair. Growing up as a child who only have natural hair, surrounded by kids who would have chemicals in their hair, such as perms or relaxers or whatever you want to call it, they would judge you because your hair would be seen as different compared to other people's or themselves. And especially if you're sitting in a classroom, your hair is in a big afro, and then you see a bunch of kids behind you saying, "Oh, I can't see," or like throwing little things at you just because your hair is different. It almost makes you question, is this how my hair is supposed to be? You know, am I even black? You're literally sometimes the only black woman in your classroom with natural hair. And now, as you see, as the times progress, you're seeing more little kids, little black girls, and even little black boys with their natural hair out. Even with black boys, we're always seeing black fathers wanting to shave their son's hair, and it's almost like it's like you're stripping their identity in a way. Now, if it's a case of the child wants their hair to be cut, that's something different. But as far as forcing your child to get a haircut or forcing your child to get a relaxer, you are stripping away their identity. So, with that, going back to growing up with natural hair, it did cause some insecurities within myself as a black child. I also remember when I got my first relaxer as a kid, I was around 5, and my grandmother decided to put one of the kitty perms inside my hair. And me being 5 and seeing nothing but
Straight hair and like loose curls.
yeah, I wanted that. I wanted my hair to shake and flow through the wind like how I see the white girls on TV and everything. That's what I wanted to see. I didn't see any representation as far as my culture, my ethnicity, my skin complexion, and all that. So I wanted to shake my hair. And my grandmother looked at me and said, "Oh, do you want to look like this little girl on the box?" And I said, "Yeah." She put it in my hair, and I went home. And my mom, she didn't think it was my hair because I had long hair. My hair was about to my elbows actually, and so she thought it was like a wig or something because there was a time where I showed up with a wig on, and I was like, "Oh, I can shake my hair now." So she thought it was just like, "Oh, another good wig," and she felt my hair, and she was like, "This is a relaxer." And she started screaming, going crazy, started crying, and she was very upset at my grandmother. And she did it again when I was around 11, and she did it to my sister. That was her first time getting it, and she was around
I was like 10.
10, had to be 10.
Hair fell out.
Yeah. The difference, I guess, between getting the relaxer when I was 5 versus getting the relaxer when I was 11. When I was 5, my grandmother did the relaxer properly. It flew in the wind, and I loved it, honestly. I liked how my hair looked at the time. I didn't really go through a struggle of self-confidence. My mother raised us to have self-confidence in our hair. So it wasn't even though I had those insecurities of, oh, my hair, everyone's judging me, I still looked in the mirror every day and was like, oh, well, my hair is still good. I know how to manage my hair. But at the same time, I still wanted to fit in. It's still that idea of wanting to be normal because your idea of what normal is based off of what society perceives as normal. And I wanted to fit in. So I still liked the hair. However, when I was 11 and she did the perm, she left it in too short, and she left my sister's, she left her hair in too long. So our hair.
My hair did not want to go straight, baby.
Our
She
hair.
still had straightened after. Yeah, my hair was, anyway, it was still kinky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So it really looked like a texturizer for both of us. It didn't really like get it bone straight. So I don't really understand that whole process. However, the second time she still flipped out, screaming, crying, everything.
Oh, you want to tell me how mommy found out?
Oh, yes.
Can I tell the story how mommy found out? Kabita thought she was slick. She really thought she was slick. No, let me explain it. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm going to explain it because I was in the other room. So my grandma tried to hide the fact that we had relaxer by getting us braids and a haircut. So she got us a haircut and she put extensions. Our first time getting extensions. Yeah. Not our last. But the first time we getting extension braids in our hair. And my sister, she was done with hers and she's trying to wash her hair and stuff. So she takes out her plaits and everything. She goes, takes a shower. Now, people who are not familiar with traditional Afro textured hair, when it gets wet, especially my sister's and I's hair, it turns into an afro. And my sister goes over to my mom at the top of the stairs asking about shampoo or something. And her hair is wet and it's wavy and it's hanging to her shoulders and stuff like that. And my mom looked to the top of the stairs and she's like, Beverly, your hair. And she's like, touches her hair and she's like, and then my mom figured out, because we all know what a perm looks like wet. It looks wavy. And she's like, do you have a perm? And I'm in the other room and I hear that question, do you have a perm? And I'm taking down my braids and I'm like, oh no, she knows. And my mom runs up the stairs and she's like, I'm taking my braids down. She asked me the same question. And we're both freaking out. And my sister, did you say yeah? Or did you try to lie?
I think I know. I mean, how am I going to lie?
I tried to lie. And she wet my hair too. And it was wavy. And my mom was angry. She
so
told
mad. The entire neighborhood.
Yeah, crying. The neighborhood with permed hair kids were like, bruh, okay, cool. But, oh man, that was a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to grow our hair out and everything, basically start over due to the damage.
But that kind of leads me to my next topic, or next kind of question I have for you, because I know my views and like natural hair and things like that. And I've thought about like with the whole new age, of what's good and what's bad, of like texturizing my edges so I can get swoops and stuff like that. Lay my edges, baby hairs and all, because, I'm a 4C gal. On my edges especially, and they don't even lay down for Jesus if they needed to. So, hey, that was funny anyway. But yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But with our new natural hair movement, because we remember how it was when it first started. We used to get bullied for having natural hair. Like a kid dragged me halfway across the room. Y'all can tell me if y'all want to hear that story. I'll tell it in my live. But that's an interesting story. I can actually get my friend to tell why he decided to do that to me. But yeah, we used to get bullied and dragged because we had natural hair. And we went to an all-black school. We didn't go to like a multicultural, multiracial. We went with all black kids getting bullied for our hair. And now these are the same people who are now embracing their natural hair. And I love it. It's what I love to see. I love to see people embracing the naturalness about them. But now with our natural movement, from once getting bullied to transitioning your hair, now embracing the curls that you're given, you see this switch within the natural hair movement where now all you see are loose, bouncy curls. And now there's a whole different section for natural hair gals like us, where now we're kinky coily and kinky, but most importantly, the word nappy. Nappy. What does nappy really mean to you with our new natural hair movement?
Honestly, I feel like the word nappy needs to be removed from the hair movement, the dictionary, or anything. It's a derogatory term in my eyes.
It is, in general, slave term.
Exactly. It's a slave term. It's what white people use to try to describe our hair because it was different and they didn't like it, and they said, oh, well, it's nappy. It wasn't supposed to be something positive. And now we have that still instilled in our blood history.
A small history lesson. Nappy was actually a term used to describe the sheep wool. And because our hair resembled the wool of sheep, they called it nappy then, they call it nappy to us. So the reason why it's a derogatory term to us is because, do I look like a sheep? Do I look like a barn animal to you?
Exactly.
If yes, you can DM me, because when I look in the mirror, I see a strong black woman. I don't see no sheep. Nappy is not the term. Kinky is not inappropriate. When I comb my hair and it gets a little snag, it go kink, not nap. There is no nap of no black person's hair. Our hair is not something to be described as like an animal, no poodle. Do I look like a dog? I don't look like a dog. No one looks like a dog. We look like people. And our hair is as such.
Black people will be like, "Oh, I see those itty bitty bitty bees in the back of your head." Oh no, what do you mean? No,
fix your kitchen. My kitchen's clean, baby. I got Clorox. What you talking about? Like, come on, no. Brush up your edges. They are brushed.
Or do something to your hair. It's already done.
Like, do what? Do you want me to grab a straightener and sit up here for 3 hours trying to burn and crisp my hair up? No, thank you. I'm good. There is like this misconception within the natural hair community that a lot of people who are transitioning a little later in the game are now expecting to have like this 3A, 3B type of situation. And, like there is this beauty in all different types of curls, but there's a representation of the looser types. Like, even when you hear in songs or like you see like in the music videos, when they get a black girl, if she's not wearing a weave, she has looser curly hair that is either a weave or she just has looser curly hair, or they get like a woman, like a lighter skin, looser curls, edges laid, green eyes, and you're sitting here like, this is my representation. I look nothing like her, or I look partially like her. And it's just she has the good features, which we kind of talked about in Paper Bag Brown. We talked about the discrepancies between lighter skin and darker skin individuals. But now there's another layer on it. Your hair is also something that is valued as good or bad. And before it was okay to be happy and nappy, but now kinkiness and coily hair is not the hair we want on our Pantene commercials. We don't want those hairs. We're representing. We have a dark skinned person with nice loose hair, so that's your representation. Enjoy it. But my hair doesn't flow like her hair. All because you made her dark skin doesn't mean anything. Hair is hair. So why is our creativity and our self-expression being limited to the curls that you find to be beautiful? B, I'm not sure if you're familiar with like this hair strand test where it's pretty much to like see how close to whiteness you were while being black. They will take a fine-tooth comb and they'll run it through your coils or curls to see how kinky or how curly your hair is. For the looser textures, it goes pretty far, but for hair like ours, it gets stuck at the root. It's a really discouraging thing, and the reason why I bring it up is because I saw it on TikTok the other day. Oh yes, they called it a nap test or like the kinky test or something like that, trying to see how nappy your hair is, and they graded it, like giving like 6 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And it's black people, not like a white girl doing this to like black people. It's black people doing it to other black people, trying to see how kinky, how nappy their hair is.
Yeah, that reminds me of how they had a test during Jim Crow era, or maybe even a little bit before. It was a pencil test, and you put the pencil in your hair, and they had you shake your hair to see if the pencil would fall, in order to see if it was nappy or straight, and they also to see if you had any form of whiteness in you, whether you were mixed or had like a grandmother or a great grandmother. They basically were doing that to see and test your whiteness and your privilege. So if you pass those little tests, then you will be accepted by society. And if you didn't pass the test, then that's how they would treat you and judge you. So the fact that they are doing that on TikTok, it really shows that things haven't really changed as far as mindset works.
Yeah, and I got a bone to pick with TikTok about this light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair. It's a question we have to ask ourselves. Like, no one has to be overtly racist or colorist anymore. We literally show it, and we're okay with it. Like, we are in Generation Z as the adults now, and we don't even really see a problem with black people being segregated by their skin color. Go check it out on TikTok. I checked it out the other day. Check out the hashtag light skin, and then check out the hashtag dark skin. Why does light skin have 500,000 more hashtags and so much? Like, just check it out. Like, I can't even describe it to you. It's bewildering to me. Like, honestly, we have come so far as a people, and we have taken several steps back in this area of good features and bad features. TikTok is a very nice topic because it really shows how our generation, we try to blame it on the boomers, try to blame it on Gen X, we try to blame it on the millennials, even like the silent generation. We try to blame it on everybody, but this is our current issue. This ain't happened 20 years ago, baby. This is today. Just really look. How do you value different hair types? You say you love natural hair, but if I show up with my afro, you give me kind of looks. Why you giving me looks if you love natural hair? Where they do that? What's the reason why we lay our edges is so we could assimilate within the society. Now you got people with straight hair laying their edges. If okay, it's aesthetically pleasing, it looks cute. But we're laying our edges for two different reasons. When I can't get my edges to lay, I get looks. It's just not it's not socially acceptable, which makes no sense to me. But what I don't love to see is the looks I get when I wear my natural hair and it's not like the best hairstyle. I'm wearing a high puff and I don't have my edges laid, or I didn't want to brush my hair because I got things to do. Hair is like one of the least things I want to do. It already takes a lot to detangle. Don't want to be sitting here all day trying to lay my edges too. For who? Kinky hair ain't gonna flow the same way as silky curly hair. Like, it's just not the same. Like, there's different textures, different types, different everything. And to be told that your hair is bad or to show is bad, like on TikTok, and like there's this girl, like girls with like looser curl hair saying they have 4C hair, and they're creating this like indirect insecurity in kinky hair girls saying, why does my hair look like this and her hair looks like that? And she's saying that she has the same hair as me. Like, but her hair looks so much better. Like, why is her hair looking so good? Why is her hair so like long and nice and this, and my hair is kinky?
Right. But yeah, they try to say that 4C hair doesn't have a curl pattern. It's just
Frizzy.
frizzy. It does whatever it wants. But if you take the time to actually look at 4C, you see that it does have a unique curl pattern. No, it's not an S curl. No, it's not a Z curl or anything. It's just
tiny.
It's just a tiny curl, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can elongate 4C hair. You can make it look curlier. You can do everything with 4C that you can do with 4B, 3A, and all these other textures that everyone wants. It seems like nobody wants 4C hair. I've heard people say like, oh, well, I have 4B, I can't deal with 4C hair, or people who are transitioning and they like going back on what my sister said of expecting to have this different type of texture, or have this loose hair texture, and they get upset when they find out that they have 4C or even 4B hair, and they go back to the relaxing phase, and they say, oh, well, I can't deal with that, I found out I had bad hair, or
For real.
I can't do this anymore because I can't handle the how long it takes to do my hair and all this other stuff.
Or like kind of breeding your kids like, well, I can't have no bad hair baby. I can't deal with that. She would definitely have to get a relaxer.
Or even going into having natural hair and dating, when there's a lot of women who, now there's nothing wrong with dating outside your race. You date whoever you want to date. However, there is a lot of black women who date other races, whether they are mixed with something or just black, Hispanic, or whatever have you, based off of the hair, so that their babies could have a better hair texture. And even if they do have a nicer hair texture, which is really just a softer grade of hair, there's a lot of black women who end up being jealous of their children based off of the hair texture that they have, saying, oh, I should have had my hair like this, or try to manipulate the kids' hair and of how they would do it for themselves, which is still a form of control. And it's just not something that is pleasant, and it all circles around not liking your hair, not loving what God gave you.
Exactly. And it kind of is funny because, well, a lot of our issues, from colorism, good hair, bad hair, all this kind of like formulates from the same root of where white centered beauty was the thing. Isn't that's even though that was the root of the issue, I feel like we're at the leaves and the stems of it. Where we acknowledge that, oh, this was all caused from the white beauty standards. But would you say that you feel like it's the same? Like from when we were children, like, oh, we were trying to be like white people. Do you feel like we're still trying to be like white people by like relaxing, wearing weaves and things like that?
No, not at all. At this point, I do feel like that it is a sense of confidence of owning, like, this is my hair. I can do and wear whatever I want to. I do feel, however, that the insecurity, this perfect idol does exist. And unfortunately, the ideal of perfection in America and other parts of the world is being white and everything that has to do with white, because white equals privilege. I feel like it's a no, it's not the same, because we are in a movement, but that's the point. We are still in a movement. Nothing is set in stone. We are still changing people's minds, allowing people to have self-confidence in their hair and just being black, and that has been taken from us and turned to be negative, when in actuality there's nothing wrong with it in the first place.
I agree with that. There's nothing wrong with the different hair textures. There's nothing wrong with having straight hair. Nothing wrong with having kinky hair. And there's definitely nothing wrong with hair at all. Like, it's the stigmas around it. It's the more disheartening thing. Like, anybody should be able to walk out how they are, how they were created, without having all of these pressures on them. Like, a black girl with dark skin and kinky hair should be able to feel as confident as a light skinned girl with kinky hair, or a light skinned girl with loose hair, or any type of person or man. Men also face this. The reason why we talk so heavily about women is because, if you aren't aware, I am a woman. So I know a lot about women issues. So that is why we always talk about women. I can't speak on the men because I am not a man. So I just wanted to clarify that. Men, you are part of this. You face stuff too. So y'all should talk about it. Come on this podcast and talk about it too. You know, it's what we love to see. Diversity is always accepted. And on that note, it's not just a women issue, this beauty standard of like the light skin, dark skin, and loose hair and all. It's a black issue that's not just affecting black people, it's affecting us as Americans, because black culture is not a silent culture. It's a beautiful, loud culture that this generation in particular has taken on as their culture. And because of this ownership, now we're all playing a hand in it. You know, not just now black people are telling other black people you have bad hair, but us as a society now like chugging it down the throats of social media. We want good looking children, but those good looking children always look mixed. But kind of wrapping up everything we talked about, we talked from our own kind of personal experiences, from our failed relaxers, from our discrepancies between our own hair and how people view us and how we feel about it. 4C hair, good hair, bad hair, like what it all means to us and what we have experienced. Wrapping it all up, Beverly, what would you like for the world to know about your hair?
Well, for one, it's definitely more than good hair. That's for sure. I see my hair as amazing. It's more than just a self-expression or a way to express myself. It is an extension of me. And I wouldn't try to change my hair to appease anyone, or whether it's society, family, friends, lover. It doesn't really matter. As long as I am enjoying my hair and loving my hair texture for what it is, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. And my hair is not loose. It's 4B with sprinkles of 4A, if that's what you want to call it. But I wake up in the morning every day and I have to detangle that, and it is a struggle. Sometimes you just, wake up in the morning, you just don't want to do your hair. However, I still am glad that I have my hair texture, and I wouldn't want to change it for the world.
Thank you, sis, for hopping on here, giving your life experience along with mine. So if you want to check out more of my sister's stuff, remember she a freelance model, so photographers, don't be shy. You can hit her up on her Instagram handles. I'll leave those down in the little description thing down below when this releases. Y'all know what to do. So yeah, guys, if you haven't had a chance to check out Paperback Brown, go check it out. It really helps connect these two topics between being lighter skinned and having good or bad hair, which we have dismantled. It does not exist. But remember, in Paperback Brown, we talked about why it shouldn't exist to have like this higher standing of societal norms of lighter skinnedness. Like, what we already said, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. So yeah, so thank you for listening. This is your Black Auntie, Kiana Ellison, and stay black, y'all.